Hello?
Hi.
Hi, is your first time here?
Yeah.
What's your name? Is your name Tyra?
Yes, Tyra.
Tyra, where you calling us from?
New Orleans.
Kids?
Yes, a 17-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy.
Okay, by the same man?
No,
No. What's your zodiac sign?
Capricorn.
Have you ever been married?
No.
So, guys, meet Tyra. She's a 35-year-old single mom of two kids by two different men from the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana. This is the typical person that comes on to Kendra G's dating show. We've seen it before, we've seen it again. But this episode is just a tad bit different, guys, because this young lady here has a lot of expectations for a man to come into her life and pretty much deal with that situation. Now, before I kind of get into her synopsis and play what she's looking for, I think, again, a lot of women in the market don't understand what they're asking for a man to sacrifice to deal with them. And it's not to say that not all women have a bad situation, but I just want to say something here. If you're a woman that's 35 years old and you have two kids by two different men, and you're expecting what this lady is about to expect, it's just not as plausible, right? Now, here's what I want to do. Kendra G asked her, so what are you looking for in a guy, right? Let me get right to that part and play that, and then we're going to come back.
Okay. Does he have to make a certain amount of money?
Yes. More than six figures.
So more than six figures or more than 100K? Because more than six figures is seven figures. That's a millionaire. Or do you want a millionaire?
We can do seven figures. I've been there.
Oh, Kendra, I said what I said. I said what I said. So did
And
you?
I'm
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
millionaire yet, but I'm in a working. But I've dated in that bracket before.
So what happened with that man?
Okay, so we dated during COVID. We met maybe 6 months before COVID, and we kind of end up stuck together because of COVID. And he was great guy, attorney, does well for himself, took care of me and my kids throughout COVID. It's just when COVID realized, finish. I wanted to pursue other things, and he was just kind of stuck on how we were during COVID. That's all.
So when the world opened back up, you didn't want to be with him anymore.
No, I wanted to be with him. It's just that I had plans, and we had plans as far as me, because I left corporate America to be an entrepreneur, and we had plans for me. But when the world shut down, I kind of focused myself on him, his law practice. There was nothing to do, so it was just us. So when the world opened back up, he kind of became selfish with me, and like, we have everything. I don't need to go back out and pursue those things that I want to do for myself.
But you want to date a millionaire again?
He doesn't have to be a millionaire. I'm just saying that I've dated in that bracket before.
So okay. With that being said, is there a minimum six-figure number you would deal with since you dated in that bracket?
At least 200,000 or more,
So 200K is the minimum.
and no bad credit.
200K and no bad credit.
Yes.
Okay. 200K, no bad credit. Does he have to be in New Orleans?
No, but he has to be able to, travel.
Did your children's dads make that amount of money?
One of my kids' dad does well from himself. I've known them. And my other kid dad, he makes at least six figures.
And you couldn't work things out with him either?
Oh, so my daughter, I'm 35. My daughter who's 17, I had her when I was 18, headed to college. So I had her on my first time getting having sex.
So and her father's the one that does well for himself.
He does good. He's no slouch. He does good, but he makes close to six figures. But my son dad does very well. He's an entrepreneur.
And how come you guys can't be together?
Oh, girl, Kendra, I was a young girl. You know how they say that, you leave them how you find them? Well, I found him, and he wasn't doing so well. And I taught him how to do a little well. and he thought he was better than me. Let's just leave it like that.
Ooh, so he got a lot of different women now?
Oh, that was a long time ago. My son, 12 years now.
Okay.
So guys, I don't know if you caught something in that clip. Let me kind of explain what I'm saying. Now, she recently had an opportunity with a millionaire who's a lawyer, and the lawyer was taking her care of her kids. She wanted to go out and do something in the private sector and work. So she had the guy that she wanted. She just didn't want to get with his program. So you had an opportunity with a lawyer and you didn't want to get with his program. That's the first thing. A lot of times women want to get with a man that makes a lot of money, and then you want to stay with your own program. That may or may not work, because rich guys like the lawyer that she has doesn't come in often, especially a guy who's willing to deal with your situation. And that situation is you have 2 kids by 2 different men and you're only 35. That's not a very favorable situation for a lot of guys. But also, here's something I don't know if you guys caught. Remember when Kendra G asked her, well, why are you not with your first baby dad? Then she was like, girl, that was my first time having sex. Then the second guy, girl, I was a young girl. I left him how I found him. He thought he was better than me. And so what you heard in that clip was no accountability whatsoever. And that is the most damning or alarming part. Every time this lady has to explain a previous experience, it's always somebody else's fault. You have 2 kids by 2 different men. You had a guy in the right tax bracket. And every time the relationship ended, it was somebody else's fault. And that is the biggest issue, besides even having 2 kids by 2 different men and you've never been married, which is my third thing. You've never been married. You expect some man who is very successful to pass up on every other eligible woman to deal with you who has never been married. Didn't make the first guy marry you. Didn't make the second guy marry you. But you say in this clip, like, you're really big on family, if you look at the episode rather. And so you want somebody to come in and clean up all of that, when the biggest issue that she has is a big unaccountability. And it's so crazy that so many people have that issue, and you think that you're going to deal with a highly productive man who makes a lot of money. And a highly productive man who's very responsible can never have a great career, can never offer a great service, can never be a great entrepreneur with unaccountability. You have to get the work done. Anybody who's an entrepreneur or who does very well for themselves, you got to get the work done. You got to get out there in these streets. You got to get out there and do this and that. You got to get out here and meet your commitments. And you can't have any excuses for why your personal life is not doing well, if you're a high performer at your job, or if you have to repair things in your business, capital is getting old, the business still has to perform at a high level. That's the sacrifice that people make. And if you have a lady that you're in a relationship with and everything is her baby daddy's fault, everything is not her fault. When she gets in a relationship with you, that's going to be very obvious that everything's going to be your fault. So who wants to sign up for somebody like that? You take no accountability for whatever happened in your life, but you expect to deal with a man that's a high performing man. It just doesn't make sense. And a lot of times these women are asking for somebody that I actually believe that they are not. Now, anybody can, do a fluke, if you will. What is a fluke? That means you can get lucky. So she's dated in that tax bracket before, right? But here's also something that's interesting. None of the guys that she has kids with are in a $200,000 salary range. She said her kid dad, which was like not good English, right? But the first guy is not making even $100,000 a year. The second guy, who you said started doing very well and stopped talking to you, which is obvious. Just go figure, unaccountable. So none of those guys make what you're looking for. You expect another man to come in and make what you're looking for, but you don't want to follow his rules. This is why most people do not take a lot of ladies that come on this show very serious because of what they say about themselves in their past. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I already put you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.